Hey, you guys, this is Bernadette with Ivana. We are both here. It's so much fun to talk to you again. Hi, Ivana.
Hi, Bernadette. It's nice to talk to you too. I'm excited for our conversation today.
Me too, me too. And you know what? We have a topic today. Of course, it's all about topic chat, normally like we do. And I have a topic today, and I know for sure I actually took the whole week to ask people what they think of it. And I find out people love it or people hate it. Some people are entrepreneurs, they hate it, and some people they really love it. And I think that was nice. And they have very different views about how you should do it. So today we are talking about selling, and I think I like it too. I had 2 weeks ago, remember that podcast I had with Stephanie de Moral? It was all about marketing.
Yeah.
And
Excellent.
yeah, we took a lot of tips, and we actually, one of her was also to have some giveaways, and we have a big giveaway for the listeners. I'm going to tell you at the end, but you will love it too. But yeah, talking about
Sounds
selling, I
exciting.
think sales is actually your thing, right, Ivana? I think you do more sales than I do, actually.
I am in a sales role, definitely. And there are definitely topics that I would love to cover with this because I find it very interesting and, especially the topics of how things have changed over time too.
I know. Now, I want to say to the listeners, she's very modest, but she's actually a sales guru. Guru, really. Yeah, and she loves it. You love it, right? The sales.
I do. I really do love sales. I love, you know what though? I really love building the relationships as well. So that for me
Yeah,
is a big part of selling. It's not just about, making a sale, but it's about having that relationship too.
right. Well, that's just the part what makes me a bad salesperson. I'll tell you why. I'm good in the blabbering and the relationship, and I go on and on and on, and then I just walk outside and think, oh, I forgot to sell. I mean, I don't. I feel it like it's not nice or something, or
I know what you
like,
mean. Yeah.
you know what I
Those
mean? I'm like,
I
yeah,
do. You know what? Those are obstacles I have to overcome. And I feel like as salespeople too, it's like constant self-improvement. You're never going to be perfect. It's about reminding yourself of how to make sure that you don't do something like that where you blabber your way through.
yeah,
But at the same time, which it can happen to me too. But at the same time, it's just like making sure that you're engaged and asking the right questions and
yeah.
really getting down to the core of their needs. So, there's always room for self-improvement too.
Well, one of the disappointments I read because of this topic, but also at the end of the year, I always go to all the things that are important for my business, marketing, sales, etc., etc. I read some reports from Forbes and from other agencies, and in one of them, it was actually a downer for me, saying, if you are doing sales, there is always rejection, no matter what you do, there is always rejection. Not all of them, but
Yeah.
some of them will always do. And I'm like, I think that's the part. If I have a rejection, I can be down for like days. It's
You
like,
know what? Yeah, that's very true. I think that's probably the hardest thing to get over is
yeah,
is the
yeah,
rejection. But you have to develop this like thick skin and realize that it's part of it because so many people they'll it seems like they're completely interested and that's the thing. It's like it's really hard. I think it's just part of the natural
yeah,
process. It's like you
yeah.
have to be able to get over that.
And I
But
think also the only moment that I feel good, even if I get a rejection, if I have the feeling that the talk I did, the conversation I had was a very nice and pleasant conversation. And I was
yeah,
very honest, and the client was very honest. And then at the end, he said, okay, I'm sorry, I'm not going to buy. And it's okay. And then I don't have such a bad feeling about it because I think we
definitely.
did well, actually,
Yeah,
then.
because you never know when they might turn around as well. And that's happened to me
Yeah,
before
yeah,
too. Because
yeah.
at the end of the day, you walk away with a nice, pleasant conversation, as you said, and um, it they got a lot out of it. But
Yeah.
sometimes the thing is, it's like maybe it wasn't the right time. And I've had this happen where people come back and they turn around and they say, okay, you know what, I wish I actually got started back then, or, you know, this is what happened.
That's good.
Yeah. So that does happen. Yeah.
Well, it's probably also with our readers, you love sale or you hate sale anyway. But anyway, we always want to have tips and help you. So what I did was go all over this report and see if we can have like the best tips and also what did change. Maybe it's because of Corona. Maybe there was another generation coming up. Maybe the time is different. I don't know. But
Technology too.
yeah, it could be a technology.
Yeah.
There are five. We had five, and we saw them back in all these reports. And I think people should know that. They are very good to know, and also to see if you can do your sales different, or you use different tools, or different attitude, etc., etc. So I thought what would be nice that I'm gonna tell you these tips, and we talk about it and see, if we can make it tips that everybody can use. So that's like a sales present at the end of the year, right? So you can
Definitely.
yeah.
Definitely.
And one of them, that was actually also an eye opener for me. It's called authentic selling. And then it says selling is helping, really helping solving a problem. And I thought, okay, that's different. That's different than the old days where you have, the guy who keep blubbering out and at the end you just buy it. But this is a whole different story.
It is a different story. And the thing is too, like with authentic selling, it's really listening to needs, and then it's structuring that to their needs. It's not just selling what you have. It's really finding out what the challenges are, how to solve their issues that they're having, and making sure that it's something that can help them too, and presenting it in that way as well. That's what I think is very different, because back in the day, how we were talking about, there's that perception of, you were telling me that story too, which I would love to hear again. There's that perception of like the greasy car salesman. Not that there's anything wrong with car salesmen, but just like pushing.
Yeah, but I think if the guy, I'm just for the listener, I was telling her that long time ago, when I was about 10 years old, I could always go to the market with my mom on Saturday, and there was always, all the stands with the vegetables and the clothes. But then there was this guy with the car, and he always had like cleaning stuff. And then this guy was loud and he was blabbering on, and it's beautiful, and you can clean your car, and you get not one but two and three of these bottles, etc. And everybody's walking away with bags of this cleaning stuff. I don't think they need it. Yeah, but I think if this guy would do it today, it's very intimidating. Actually, I don't think it works anymore. It works.
I agree. Yeah, not that approach. And the thing too, like technology's changed so much that nowadays you can't have like. The thing is, like, your customers or clients can look up everything online.
Yeah, but that's not the point. That's point number 3. Did you see it? I have like 5 points. One of them is selling.
But you know what? But that does tie into authentic selling too, because now it's you can't just have that regular. But we can touch on it more later on too. But it is. I think it really does strongly tie into authentic selling. Yeah, because now it's just like it's not pitch of your products. It's more authentic. It's more catered to them. It's more listening. I think that it ties in that way too. Definitely.
And maybe also that people are more value the way they are treated, or if they are having a nice relationship with somebody. I know that I have a lot of suppliers in many ways, but if I have somebody who I think I don't like the attitude, I understand that they are selling, but if somebody is really nice, you think I can really work with that person and I really like the way you treat me, I would more often say yes. And somebody who I don't feel good, I actually had it the other day. It was like a collaboration from somebody who reached out to us, to be honest.
Yeah.
And it was about a collaboration, and he had a very arrogant attitude, and he was really like, no, I'm not going to do that, and I'm going to do this and this. And then I just take over, and then I say, okay, listen, you can now tell me what the hell you need from me, or just we end. You end this conversation because I don't like your attitude and I don't want to work with you. That's just it.
Yeah.
I'm just very honest with you. So
Yeah.
no, I didn't like that at all. But so
That
yeah,
happens
I
in
really
my,
understand.
yeah, that happens in my role as well. You have some certain people that come on and, they're very aggressive or angry. So
Yeah.
it's same thing.
So this is a good one. Selling is helping solve a problem, give the feeling that you as a salesperson are, want somebody to have your product because it solves a problem, listen to them as well. That was a good one, I think. And also the second one is a little bit the same, but then it says sell it yourself first, pitch your product, see if you have a firm conviction and, believe in your product. I think that's very important. When I was a HRM manager, long time ago, I did recruiting, and then they were also the attitude: if you can sell one thing, you can sell everything. I was just recruiting sellers, and even if they sold cars and they had to sell now, I don't know, candy, doesn't matter. If you can sell, you can sell everything. I think that's no longer the case. That's no longer
Yeah.
true.
Yeah, exactly. I really do agree with you. Like, I do know that there are some really expert sellers that they could sell you anything. Like, that movie Wolf on Wall Street, where it's like, sell me this pen, and I know it came from something else, but so it's like, no matter what, if you're like good at sales, you could sell someone the pen. But I agree with you. I think it's about really believing in your products, and that's where the conviction
Yeah.
comes from. Because when you understand how those products or services could help your clients, then that's really what can make a huge difference.
Yeah, and also you can see it. I remember that you saying a lot of times, I love my product. I love this product. And I think
Yeah.
when you're talking about it, you can see it, you can feel it, you can hear it, and that's very important. I think most of the designers, I think the example of designers is a good one because the designers make their product, make their jewelry, make their dresses or whatever they make. And I mean, their heart is in there. And so they are, if they're talking about it, you can see, wow,
They're passionate about it.
they love this product. So that's really
Yeah.
good. I think they are. I do believe that designers are not that good with the money, but with the selling process with their product, they are very good, I guess.
Yeah. No, I completely understand. I can see how you tie that in. It's like the passion and authenticity is there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, well, number 3. So we have it. We have the selling is helping. Sell it yourself first. Go to the mirror, pitch your product, try it with somebody else, and then the next one is very important. The new touch points. So they say you have to have contact with a client at least 10 times before they say yes to your sales. And so if you are calling 10 times, that's like not the case, and it's very hard to do so because they also give you time. A client, most of your clients are very busy, and so because of the technique nowadays, there are lots of other ways to get to your client, and I really like that. To be honest, I really like that.
Definitely. You have to be more creative these days, and you have to. It's not just like the good old days where I used to bring donuts to the clients.
No.
get them on a sugar high, and then they say yes to everything. I'm just kidding. You can't just bring donuts.
You want to alcohol. That will be
maybe bring donuts and then bring something else that's valuable to them, useful. That could be useful information that's useful.
Yeah, something like that. Well, and to be honest, I'm kind of vulnerable for it because I was on the trade show for IBTM, which is all about travel. And then I was with the stand from South Africa. And South Africa, there's like colors all over. And I got this very small little thing they made from all kind of colors with South Africa. It's so beautiful. And I actually thought, wow, I fell in love with them right away. So I'm a sucker for presents. If it's on sale, I go for it all the time.
I feel like I am too. I think that's why so many people used it. You know what? Do you have Tim Hortons? Are you familiar with Tim Hortons? I'm assuming you are because you travel so much. Are you familiar with Tim Hortons?
Yes.
So the thing is that when I would go to visit clients, I wouldn't bring them just Tim Hortons. I would bring them gourmet donuts. So I would go to this unique little gourmet donut shop, and I would get them all these custom donuts. And I would, yeah, and it was so funny because I'd have to get the expense approved, and they'd say, you buy a lot of gourmet donuts. But you know what? I had really good results. I won awards.
Okay, now you actually blow your cover, Ivana. Now everybody knows, like, okay, don't fall for it. She's bringing you donuts. But you know what I thought? Because there was examples about the technique, what you can do. And they say, okay, if you want to have your clients, you can do different ways. I mean, I love LinkedIn. I go a lot of LinkedIn, and I have a lot of people reaching out to me on LinkedIn. And I can give them stuff for free. I can say, hey, you know what? Do you want to have an interview on my website? Do you want to have an article or whatever? But they also said you can also think of, for example, have your own webinar, go on YouTube, have your own video, and then you can do your pitch and invite a lot of your network at the same time. Is that something you would do, Ivana? Is that something you would do? Like a
LinkedIn,
webinar?
definitely. Like, I don't have a YouTube channel, but LinkedIn, I have definitely used LinkedIn, and I think that it's a really great way to connect with clients. It's just that your approach has to be different, because now, just with technology, people catch on to things very quickly, and other companies or people or entrepreneurs, salespeople, they're using the same methods as you, and then all of a sudden, people's inboxes are just getting flooded with messages. So I think that it's really important to, again, going back to like being authentic and having a different approach. Just something that will catch their attention without being inundating them with too much information at first. It's just getting the point across. But really, I think that like technology is really a big part of this right now, because with technology, everyone has access now. Like, one of the things that you were mentioning earlier, just picking up the phone and calling, it's not just about that. Now you can get information from so many different sources, such as LinkedIn Sales Navigator. There's Seamless AI, there's Zoom Info. There's so many different ones where you can get emails. You can directly reach out to people and have a different kind of approach. And I think that, leveraging these tools is really, really huge as part of this process as well.
But I also think that some of them, for example, the other day or a week ago, I do a lot of art at home, or make art. I mean, I'm not very famous, but it's just my hobby. And then I have a lot of tutorials on YouTube. Love that. So I have my favorite people, and they are doing all kind of art. Show me. But at the same time, they selling the products. They are having an affiliate with the company, with that brand.
Yes.
And to be honest, if they make something beautiful in the tutorial, I buy something every time. And I'm like, I'm such a sucker, because I like that what she's doing. I just buy it.
You know what? You just reminded me of something too. There's this on Instagram, there's this couple that I watch that I really like. They're really funny. And I've seen a lot of people on their channels that have a huge following, where they're just like present, because now they're getting paid by sponsorship from other products because of the huge following. And sometimes they'll just display the product and say, like, oh, here, buy this. But this couple, actually, what they do is their funny little skits that they do, they integrate the products or the services within the skit. So you don't actually even know that it's coming up. So you think that they're just like being really funny. And all of a sudden now it's like, bam, like here's what, and I love it, because how they say people don't want to be sold to. People just want to like, so that's the thing. It's like, if I know that it's going to be a skit about a product or service, I probably wouldn't watch, to be honest with you. But when I think it's just one of their everyday funny skits, and then they just throw it in, and I'm like, that was really beautifully done.
It's nice. So shortly, I mean, I have a podcast because I don't have my face on the internet, but I think you can do a webinar, Ivana. You can do a webinar for EuropeanLife, and then we're gonna do that. Oh, that's a good idea. Okay, you could, for all the listeners, you hear something about it in the future, but it's a good idea. But you can also have your own YouTube channel. You can also, go to LinkedIn, have your podcast. I think there are a lot of ways now to find your clients. So you have to do a lot of different ways to find them. Another one they had was, and I thought that was really true, content marketing, where they say, you should not focus on direct making a sale. You should have good content, write your story, and try to get your client, I don't want to say entertained, but at least interested. But don't go to the sales too quickly, like keep going about your product. I think that's a very good one, because that's like old fashioned, not anymore from this time, right?
Yeah, no, definitely. Definitely. It's about, yeah, it really is about knowing, like, I think this, all the points that kind of tie in together. I just really think too with the content marketing, like even what we were talking about, like the new generations, and they want to know the product. The thing is too these days that everyone can easily access information. So any person can find out about your product and service at any point, so it's not just about throwing points at them. It's really about, I think it just comes back to, again, that like consultative selling, that really the authentic selling, because anybody can research products with internet these days. Definitely. Like you can find anything.
Definitely. Yeah, I think so too. And there are more on the market, the competition is killing.
Yes.
So it's very easy to find somebody else to go to.
Yeah.
And
people become knowledgeable. Yeah, because back in the day, people that were in the market to potentially buy, they had to deal with you or someone like you to be able to be able to buy. But now it's like they can actually go online. They could just buy it directly themselves. There's so many different sources. So it's like adding that value as to why they would buy with you, that personal touch too.
And I think this is also a good time at the end of the year, just really sit down, take these points and say, how am I doing and what could I do different, and make a plan. I'm always good in making plans, and I think you should do it. One of the also is, and I also talked with Stephanie in the marketing, the need for individualization. One fits all approach is no longer working, and I think that's so true. That's so true, to be honest. I must say, for example, also, I don't know if that's now, like even with my Christmas card, if we're talking about Christmas, I noticed that if I'm doing like an emailing and send them all the same message, then I hardly get any response. But nowadays, I don't mind going with and having going by hand and really making a sentence from me, like, hi, I wish you a nice Christmas, hope to talk to you next year, and then Bernadette. And then they all get back. They all get back to me. It's a personal approach. It's not, one fits all approach. And I think that's a very important in this time. You have to do something unique for that one person and no longer, do something for the whole group and the whole cloud all in the same way.
Definitely. It's even like, for example, like selling digital marketing. It's a solution that so many companies need, and they need the core, the foundation of a lot of the solutions that I'll go over with them. But if I just go to every person and tell them about the products or the services and how it works, and kind of have it where it's just like like cookie cutter, it's like one size fits all, then it's not gonna work for them, even though they might need it. You have to also, again, individualize, and you have to make sure that they understand how it fits in with their company, or how it's going to help them, their business, or maybe their clients or their customers as well. So you really have to directly tie everything back to them and add that personalization too.
I think also we make mostly packages. We have a rate card, but normally we make a package. And I'm not a really good entrepreneur, but lots of times I throw something in for free just because I think it's better for the client to say, okay, you know what, you should do this too. Yeah. You have to do this too. Let me. Because I want them to feel good. And also if they feel good and they really have results, they come back next time and they know that I really want them to be successful. And so I think that's very important. To be honest, we had a designer once on the podcast, go back. It's called, her name was Ira, I think. And I thought that was so lovely because he said, I want every dress I make one of the kind. And you know why? Because then I can make all kind of details just fit for that one client. I want her to have that dress that's only made for her because she deserves this. And I was like, oh my God, that's so sweet. I know it's maybe not really business-like. You don't sell 20 dresses in one day, but sometimes it's also very important to feel good about yourself.
Yeah, that's still selling.
Okay, so just very quick, all 5: authentic selling. So selling is helping. Sell it yourself first. Pitch your product in the mirror, maybe. love your product, and then new touch points. So go to LinkedIn, go to YouTube, go make a webinar or podcast, etc. That was 3. And 4 is content marketing. That's don't focus right away on making a sale, but take some time for your client, and then the need to be treated as an individual. See what works for that one client. And I think these are very important points, right?
Yeah, definitely. I agree. I think they're very important. And oh,
yeah,
sorry.
say it. Say it.
You know what I was going to say, as we were just very quickly to finish off, while we were talking about the dress and, all these different circumstances where people are selling, it just makes me realize that every day of our lives, we're always selling something, whether it's selling ourselves or it's selling what we do, we're always selling, all of us, even if people say they don't like sales, at the end of the day, everyone's
anyway.
they're doing it anyways.
Yeah, they don't know yet, but they're doing it anyway. So, okay, well, I thought that was very helpful. And, I'm actually want everybody to know also, as I told for my tip from Stephanie, do a giveaway, but also because at the end of the year, we really like to help some entrepreneurs, some brand owners, business owners to promote themselves, to be seen, to be heard, be visible, and have a good start in 2023. And that's why we posted yesterday a contest on all the platforms where you can get your own guest podcast here and promote your brand. So go to the platforms. Yeah, go to the platforms and see what you have to do. Well, I can tell you right now, you have to go send us an email on podcast@europeanlifemedia.com. And you have to tell us about your product and about why you think you should have some help in your presentation. What are you doing? What's your market, etc., etc. And we are organizing in January a promote your brand month. I thought it was a very good start of the year, and I hope a lot of people are reaching out, and we have a lot of emails. And if so, we will get back to you, and we will have a podcast together, and we will promote that. And then not only on the podcast, you also can have a small article on the website, and we share it on all our platforms. So if you want to have a good start for 2023, go to podcast@EuropeanLife. Tell us about yourself. What is your product? What is your business? What is your company? Tell us why you want to be on the podcast and why it's such a good idea. And we get back to you as soon as we think that you would be a right person to be a guest on our podcast. And we hope to get a lot of response. So is that not a nice suggestion? So we can have a lot of people.
It's a great suggestion.
Yeah, it's great, right? So I thought so too. So
it's a great way to advertise themselves.
Yes, that's the pitch. We were talking about this pitch. This is the one. So that's good. Yeah, and also you have to keep your eye open for posts to come, because sometimes we have the opportunity to give you free tickets into trade shows, and one of the new partners we have, and we can give away some of the tickets, is Air Expo France, and that means it's an air expo where you can just walk between the airplanes. There is a lot to see, a lot to do. It's very lovely. It is in France. If you're interested to have tickets for that, come back to us, podcast@EuropeanLifeMedia.com, and we will see who will go with us. So that will be fun. So there's a lot to do, and I'm really excited about the new year already. Right?
That does sound very exciting, especially with France. I love the way you say it, France.
Oh, really?
I don't think you notice.
They all think I don't have any accent. I'm just so native English.
I like it.
Oh well, I just had somebody saying, "Oh yeah, your English is not, you're not a native English." I said, you know what? I definitely not a native English, but I like it because on the podcast there are just a lot of people who have English as a second language, and I'm sure they don't talk as a native English, but that's okay because we are a global company.
I love hearing different accents. I think it's nice. It's very interesting. It adds appeal.
Me too. I think I like it. Yeah, no, I like it. And no, we are liking it. So I hope you like it too. And thank you so much for being with us today. And we hope we see you soon. We have just 2 or 3 weeks to go. 2 weeks to go. No, 3 weeks to go till the new year. So join us and get to the podcast email. And we hope to see you next week. And for now, I wish you a very nice weekend. Bye.
Thank you. Bye. Thank you for having me here.
Thank you for listening today. Please subscribe and share this podcast. Do you have a question or a story to share? Please find us at podcast@EuropeanLifeMedia.com.